We're going to talk about ways to modify your characters now. In our last couple of tutorials, we also, we created Fluffy, the Goblin Shaman, and we created Fluffy based on a blueprint, which was kind of a default standard character. We just drug him out and dropped him in place and then modified some characteristics. Well, that's fine, it works, but what happens if I were to accidentally erase Fluffy? I'd have to go and recreate Fluffy, drag out a copy of the Goblin Shaman, and then go to the properties and modify all the things that I had changed previously. Which, we only changed 3 things, so not a big deal. But if we had really worked on that character and made him, made 25 changes, you delete him and then you got to go back and make all those changes again. So it would make sense if we could make Fluffy, our goblin, into a blueprint, just like the other blueprints are out there, so that if we needed to, we could drag out lots of copies of Fluffy, or we could delete Fluffy and just drag out a new copy with all those presets already assigned to it. That's what we're going to do next. So here's Fluffy, and I'm going to right click and choose Add to Palette. Now, let me explain this warning that popped up. The character template that we used to make Fluffy was a Goblin Shaman, and the game has it set up so that they come with a piece of armor and a weapon. Because this character has things automatically in its inventory already, when we add this to the palette, meaning when we turn it into a blueprint so we can make more of them, the toolset also has to make the armor and the weapon into custom objects as well. And we're not going to get into that right now, but that's what the warning means. So here's what happens when you do that. You click yes. The first thing that comes up is this armor. Now, it's this chain shirt here, and it looks like this. You don't see that on the goblin because it doesn't show up, or maybe this is only how it looks on a human character or something like that. But we're not going to mess with this thing. We're just going to click OK and let it be there. The next thing is the hammer that Fluffy's holding, and again, we're just going to click OK. You'll see those things show up in your palette under the custom area. I just wanted to understand where those are coming from. Okay, now here's Fluffy. And first of all, this blueprint reference number should not be changed. I mean, it can be if you know what you're doing, but we don't want to mess with it and we don't need to. It's a unique identifier for this character, for this blueprint. And this name cannot be the same name as any other one in the game, and the Aurora Toolset handles that automatically. So for our case, we're just going to leave it alone. What I want you to do is just to never change it. So don't accidentally come up here and type in something new thinking that this is a character name or something like that. Just leave the blueprint number alone. And actually this tab here, we're not going to mess with anything here right now. We're going to go to the basic tab, and you'll see here's the name Fluffy that we gave it. We're not going to mess with anything else down here except the category. And right now it says Goblin. And what that means is back in your palette window, which is this window here, you have standard and you have custom. And standard are all the blueprints that come with the game, the default characters you can drag out and paint wherever you want. Custom is what we're doing right now. We're adding a custom character. And so if it says Goblin here, then it's going to show up under Monsters, Humanoids, Goblin, and then it'll say Fluffy. But since this is a plot character and we want to keep this person organized and easy to access, we don't want to dig through a bunch of lists to find this character. So we're going to change that, and we have kind of a graphical glitch here. Let me move it over, cancel it, and reopen it. Okay, I'm going to go to Special and Custom 1. And just for future reference, we're going to put all our evil characters in this game under Custom 1. So click OK, and then that's all we're going to change, so we'll click OK again. And hey, there it is. There's Fluffy back in the game. This window says Blueprint Created. I can't see it. Blueprint Created. Click OK. And my start window just got moved. I don't even know how to move that down. This is really funny. I don't know what I'm doing. That's good. Okay, so that's one way to create a custom character. Drop them in there, and now you could, if you wanted to, paint a bunch of Fluffies all around here. Hold down Shift, you can make a whole party full of Fluffies. And if you were to right click on one of these new fluffies and check the properties, you can see that the name is Fluffy. In the statistics, they have 10 hit points. And on the spells, the changes we made to the aid spell are there, 0 prepared. So, you know, Fluffy's been saved. We can make more Fluffies if we happen to delete Fluffy. I'm going to delete all the extra Fluffies right now. And let's talk about some other ways to create custom characters. I'm going to go back out to the Fern area. And let's move over towards the inn. And we'll put a couple characters down here. I'm going to go to the standard library here. I'm going to go down to NPCs because I want a human character, not some kind of monster or whatever. Go to human, and then scroll down until we find shopkeeper, which is right here. And you could paint a shopkeeper down here, but I'm going to right click and choose edit copy. What that means is it just duplicated the shopkeeper file, and now I've got my own version of shopkeeper that I can modify and change to my heart's content. Instead of the name shopkeeper, we're going to name this guy Falstadd, and I'm going to choose to pronounce that Falstadd, and that's the name of the mayor in this story. So he's the mayor, and we need to give him a tag, and the tag, remember, is the object type first letter. So he's a character. This is a CT character tag underscore, and then the character name is Falstadd. Okay, I think that's all we need to change with this guy. We are going to put him in a custom category. So in the category, instead of humans, we're going to choose special custom 2. Falstadd is a good guy. We're going to put all our good characters in custom 2, our evil characters in custom 1. So Falstadd goes in custom 2. Click OK and OK. And now we can take Falstadd and paint him down there. And there he is. There's Falstadd. Okay, another way to do this is to create a character from the character wizard, the creature wizard. So go to the wizards menu, do creature wizard. Now, when you create a creature through this method, you have to stick to the rule set that the tool set's defaulted to. Meaning, let's say you create a level 1 wizard, you can't have that wizard then, you can't give that wizard like level 7 spells because that's not right, it doesn't follow the rules. So what you have to do in that case is create a character this way and then later go into the properties, and there's ways to modify that. In this case, we're just going to create a pretty basic character, but he's going to be a bad guy. We're going to go next, and we're going to choose human. And don't be alarmed by this next picture that comes up. He is wearing appropriate clothing. Okay, so no concerns there, G-rated. And he's a fighter. We're going to delete that class. So he has no class. And let's scroll down here till we find rogue. We're going to make him a rogue, and we're going to add that class and then make it level 3. Click next. And he immediately gets a set of clothing to match his class and a weapon, it looks like. He's a male, human, and he doesn't have a portrait. So let's select a portrait. And every object in the game needs a portrait, so you always have to do this. We're going to choose this one here, human, male, 01. And click OK. There's his portrait. We'll click next. And we're going to leave this at hostile. So he's a mean, hostile character. We're going to change his first name to V-E-R-A-N, Varen, and we'll delete his last name, and then click next. And then the category we'll put him in is special, and he's evil, so we'll do custom 1. There's his summary. You can see that if you want to. Click next and finish. And here we go. There's our custom 1 characters. Our evil characters are Fluffy, the goblin, and Varen, the rogue human. So I'm going to place Varen right here, and so that he is right next to Falstadd outside the inn. And then I'm going to paint a new starting location for the player right over here. And then let's test this. and take a look at what happens. And keep in mind that Falstad is a commoner. He's a regular guy, so he's a good guy in essence. And Varen is not. Varen is a hostile character. Oh, look at that. They immediately started fighting. So if we were to zoom in on this and run over here and take a look, looks like Varen killed everybody. So this is kind of lagging quite a bit. When I'm doing the screen recording, it's using up a lot of resources, so it's going pretty slow. But that's a quick example of what the factions do. Hostile factions and commoner factions don't get along, so they started fighting. So that's artificial intelligence. The characters appear and they both realize that they're looking at an enemy, so they start fighting. We're going to get into hostile and commoner and other factions in our next tutorial. That's it for now.